So, time travel. Where World of Warcraft failed with Warlords of Draenor, Final Fantasy XIV succeeded with Endwalker. Why? Let's debunk this shit, okay? Let's delve deep into that. Now, keep in mind that I have not completed Elpis. I'm still in Anagnosis. I have just met Hermes. I am with my friends, with my boys, Ithlodeus, and all these people. Okay? Jablinski Games. I don't know what this thing is, but it is what it is. Okay? So we focus in the situation right now. I don't want to go back into the present. I want to stay back in time. I want to stay with Ithlodeus. I want to stay with him itself. I want to stay with the Nats. I have been lied to, so I'm gonna go. Wait, what? How did I lie to you? I did not lie to you, man. Why do I want to stay with the Nats? Why do I want to stay in Elpis? Fellas, listen to me, okay? The worst thing that you can do in a time travel situation is ruin it. And it is very easy for you, for anybody for that matter, to actually ruin time travel. Okay? Check out World of Warcraft, because like, what happens if you don't nail it? What happens if you do it incorrectly? Let's take one thing at a time. You go into a universe, or back in time, and you meet people that you don't know. Well, technically you do, but they don't know you back then, but you do. So like, it creates an awkward play. Normally, I would call time travel, and in under any circumstance, I would call time travel terrible writing. We will address this thing one thing at a time. World of Warcraft, Warlords of Draenor. You go back in time, and in a different timeline, in different areas, you know, like you cross practically space and time, right? And you go, what do you do over there? You meet the new Gromush, you change the past, and in the end, nothing matters in the future. It has zero impact whatsoever. If they had retconned Gul'dan dying on the Dragon Isles, our Gul'dan, you know, from our timeline, and they actually went to resurrect our Gul'dan or something with our Gul'dan, the entire Warlords of Draenor could have been skipped. They ruined what they did with Irel because we went over there to help Irel, to make her, you know, somewhat of an empathetic creature. She was actually super good, super kind, and they massacred her. They turned her into, I don't know, like Space Hitler or something, you know? They destroyed Irel. You know, Gromush didn't make sense at start. He wanted to conquer Draenor, and then he said Draenor is free. Like, literally, the first fucking words in the expansion are like, we will never be slaves, but we will be conquerors. And then he says Draenor is free. Like, you get direct contradictions over there. You get problems, you get situations, you get stuff that don't really make sense. Then we move into Final Fantasy XIV. Now, we will start with the story absolutely making sense, because you go there with the power of an Ashen, using the last remaining bits of his actual, well, practically almost divine power to send you back. This is how Elidibus sacrifices himself. He spends his last amount of energy. Now, why is this an already emotional heavy moment? If you guys check out the Elidibus model in comparison to the rest of the Paragons, all of the Paragons are massive, but Elidibus is small. Elidibus is a kid. He is pure of heart. He lives because of an ideal. His passion. He is bound by duty. He's young. When I said in the past, back in Shadowbringers, that Elidibus is my least favorite Paragon, I did not really fully understand or comprehend the extent that this guy had for his duty. How his mind worked. How lovely what his personality is. And I will say it now, after having done this particular situation, after having done this scenario, after having gone back in time with the remaining amount of energy of Elidibus, he gets me. He gets me way better. And at this point, how many of you thought to yourselves, I don't want Elidibus to die. He's dead. if he passes away, he will enter the ethereal sea. He will no longer get yoinked or destroyed forever. He will not be obliterated like the people, you know, with the fucking blasphemies all the way back into Thavnir, right? By the way, blasphemy, Greek word, blasphemia, sacrilege, okay? I did not know that there was a link. I'm just telling you guys out there. You can see what he was fighting for and the tragedy that even though he had forgotten, he still fought exactly. Bound by duty. At the same time, you can see how, like, you can accentuate that by the fact, like, when you tell him that Falafel did what she did, immediately he tells you, I have to go against that. Because all the way back in Shadowbringers, what did he say? Sometimes I have moved against my brethren. I went against the guys. I went against the paragons. Did you know that the Greek word is a Greek word? Very well. You want me to say that in Greek? I will say that in Greek. Ήξερες ότι η ελληνική λέξη είναι μία ελληνική λέξη. There you go. Enjoy that. So, we will continue then that. You already get emotional because you finally understand. Paragons are gone. Emmet Selk is gone. Ithlodeos was in Zodiark. Later you find out he's gone. Lahabria, you killed twice. He can't be more gone than that. Elidibus is gone. Falafel yeeted himself. Like, who remains? In my eyes, Hydaelyn, right? I mean, Hydaelyn is still alive. Who is her heart? The Nat. So, bit by bit, they're dying. By the way, I'm gonna make a speculation and say that we probably kill Hermes, don't we? Doesn't matter. This is just a speculation from me because, like, if you think about it, we have killed all of them. Who is the bad guy? I don't know. We're trying to save people, but we kill people. Elidibus had to sacrifice himself. Immediately, we have emotion at stake. There is too much left for anyone to give any input but smiley face. Yes. Then you move into Elpis. And nobody sees you except for, you know, Emmet Selk clearly, and his friend Elidibus. And this is when shit hits the fan because immediately you are granted with how powerful they are. They just see your essence. They know you are Azems. But at the same time, they can't be sure. And you can't tell them. At that moment, you practically, if you think about it, put yourself into the World of Light's shoes. You have a very difficult choice to make. If you tell them what happens in the future, if you tell them who you are, you risk the future changing drastically. And everyone you have known, everyone you have ever loved, dies. Because they never existed to begin with. Also, it does not guarantee the survival from the blasphemies, from the destruction of the world. The first will never have existed. Rin, Feoul, all these people that you love, gone. At the same time, you are literally talking to a guy, asking him for help that will lead to his inevitable demise. You are right there. You have Ithlodeos, you have Emmet Selk, you have Hermes, you have all the lovely, Amorosians in front of you. And you look at them, and you sentence them to death. Your success needs to come on their bodies. You have to sacrifice them. This is the first time in Endwalker that I lost my shit. That I found myself, as I told you guys before, with Tsukuyomi this had happened, that I needed to be like, hold up, wait a minute, hold up. I was got with Lahi right now. I lied on my bed. I thought about it. I watched some of the stream. And I realized that, you know what? No matter what I do, people will die. Now I, King Shiny, very much advocate in favor of murder. You guys know me, right? Here's the problem. A leader fails for every single time his subject dies. Emmet Selk, the guy that in the end became a friend of mine. I gave him hope. He was crunched, and in the end he stood up. I gave him hope of a new tomorrow, of the tomorrow after tomorrow. Ithlodeos, I befriended his illusion back in Amarot. Then I befriended him on the moon. Then I befriend him now, and I have to kill him. Elidibus finally I made understand, and I have to kill him. You know what I'm seeing? Failure on my behalf, on the World of Light behalf. No matter where I go, I just keep failing. Why? Let's go back into Thavnir. You save the kid, the mother and father die. The satrap, well, not the satrap, you know, the fake satrap, I had won, well, I had lost more of it, dies. The kid dies, you save the father, well, Rahatia does. Vidra comes out and emerges and saves people, saves Matzia, right? But the important part of this is, no matter what you do, every success that you make comes with a cost. Comes with a massive downfall. Brohe won. Brohe lost. And then we enter Elpis. And you see, you guys don't know how this feels. I'm sorry, I'm not trying to alienate you from me, but you cannot see that from my perspective. Picture that you are part of an 18 million nation nationwide. Your traditions are probably upkept with way less, like we have 11 million Greeks in Greece. Of these Greeks, we have old people, young, you know, super young people, like, do we want to say like 5 million or 4 million actually know about our customs, about ideals, know about our history, about architecture, about etymology? You're a part of this group. 5 million people globally. You have never seen a game appeal to you like this. I mean, sure, you have God of War with the fucking Zeus of Olympus, with the fucking gods of Olympus, but come on, Olympus is a fucking stereotype. Like, everybody just, you know that. Everybody knows Olympus, right? That's what I'm saying. Everybody knows about Olympus. There is no specialty there. But what happens when you move to Elpis? What happens when you speak a language that only X amount of people understand, and you go over there and you find the first quest? Been waiting for this take since March now. Well, enjoy. And you see Petaludahan. And for the first time, everybody else pronounces the words wrong, and you pronounce them right. How many times have I memed about Fandaniel being called Falafel, right? How many times have I changed like names to like, you know, just like, I don't know how to pronounce them, you know? For the first time, I am the correct one. For the first time, I have insight. I'm not confused with like, I don't know, like, I'll give you an example, you know, a prime example. Primus, like, it goes from, I think it's, Primus, it's even in the fucking Latin, which means like first, you know? What if it was Protos? Now, I know what Protos means. It means the first, right? Nobody else knows that. For the first time, I'm put into that fucking spotlight. I understand. I'm looking at the Petaludes, and I'm like, you know what? Butterflies. Yeah, I have to take care of butterflies. And I take care of the butterflies, which are like Kokini, red, Kiani, cyan, or Ianthini, violet butterflies. You go over there and you find Ophion, snake creature. You go out there and you meet people. You meet Paramonos. Now, it comes from the verb paramonevo, which means lurk. And what does he do in-game? He lurks for something. So the lurker was named Lurker in Greek. Like, they took... It's not the direct adjective of the word paramonevo, which is the verb. It's an adjectified version of it. Okay? Is this thing a word? I made it into a word, so now it exists, okay? I see Greek names everywhere. I even saw, like, who the fuck did I see? I saw Euclides, for example, right? And the chat is popping off. You guys are enjoying this because it has extra language, and I can finally offer you information. I can finally offer you some sort of, not tutorial, but, you know, knowledge that... Well, I don't want to say none of you because, like, sure, there are other Greek people that play FF, right? But, I mean, come on. There's so few of us and so many of you. What do people speak? English? Spanish? Mandarin? Who the fuck speaks Greek? Why would you learn Greek? Why would you learn Greek? It's just we have no other sister language, and we are a tiny nation. Why would you learn Finnish? You know, that's what I'm saying, and that's like my focus on this part. So you go there, and what happens the moment you enter Elpis, by the way? Because sure, you do the quests. What happens the moment you enter Elpis? Now, do you know how Hydaelyn looks? Yeah, giving people the opportunity to learn other cultures while having fun. Exactly. While losing your shit. Which I did. You know how Hydaelyn looks? How? You saw her on the boat to Sharlayan all the way back into the beginning of Endwalker. So you see Hydaelyn. Of course, she's not Hydaelyn yet because Hydaelyn does not exist there yet. Who is it? Venat. You don't have to tell me it's Venat. It's not even a spoiler that it's Venat. It's a given it's Venat. I don't remember him from Shadowbringers, Billy. But it's a given it's Venat. It is a given. I know it. Literal last scene of Shadowbringers. Sorry, I forgot. It's what it is. And even if you don't recognize her, you will recognize the doggo, which you get to know on the moon. The doggo who has the same hairstyle as Minfilia, who was the oracle of Hydaelyn. Suddenly, everything starts to come together. And at this point, I will give you guys a second impression of Endwalker. Not the first impression, but a second impression. I would like to separate Endwalker up to level 85 to Endwalker 86 plus. I will elaborate. Sharlayan was a slow start. I'm going to be honest, it gave me information, it also made me bored. Thavnir was a good addition, it had some memory with Estinian, it was like some, kinda like Hildebrand, but not really. You know, like it gave you a different thing to do, that's what I'm saying, no? Something different. Then you have Labyrinthos, which I did Labyrinthos before Thavnir, right? But I hated it. I don't want to say, okay, sure, I didn't hate it, but I did not like Labyrinthos. It bored me. It made me bored, okay? It made me bored. Sharlayan, Labyrinthos made me bored. The fucking, how do you call the convocation? The motherfuckers, the leaders of Sharlayan, okay? These guys are fine to be stupid except for the fucking granddaddy, okay? Sharlayan made me bored. I made all the boring nerds, not enough people blowing up shit like Sid. Nah. It was a good time after too much stat gaming. TL. Okay, yeah. But listen. Then you get to the Empire. And it gets nothing from me. I didn't care. I'm gonna be honest. I didn't care. People are like, oh, look at the horror. I didn't care. The two ladies that we buried, that got me. The two ladies that died of the beasts. They died because they thought I was the bad guy. Propaganda killed them. They killed themselves. Their own nation killed their own nation. I didn't care about them. I didn't. I killed Anima because it was necessary. I then killed Zodiark because apparently it was necessary because of what Falafel did, right? The only impactful moments that exist in Garlemald are when you kill Queen and you see the extent of the fanaticism. How you see like the tempered people just, you know, happening and all this shit. It was not for me. The song was very heavy, like it was a post-apocalyptic song. It was heavy. It was emotionally heavy, right? But these people chose their misery. They did. They opted in for that. When the two ladies killed themselves, because they did that, they opted in for that. When the villagers decided to go with this choice, they had this choice. Quintus chose to kill himself. He chose that. Then we go to the moon. And we see a different perspective. We see everything going to shit. We find out that, you know what, Zodiark is not that this big bad boy. I mean, we already knew that, but then it is solidified. We found out about his task. How Zodiark is keeping us alive. Now, arguably, he doesn't really have a choice on the matter, right? Falafel manipulates that. He gets into that. We have to kill him, and now we have invoked the Cataclysm. We have created the upcoming demise. And what do? Give me the Loporids, which is like, I mean, it is a break, okay? So like what I like about Endwalker is that it has intense moments and then you have like memes. So like if you think about this for a moment, let's get into that. Charlian Labyrinthos, Thavnir, meme. You go back, you have like Garlemald and fucking Moon. You have like the fucking the Loporrit, meme. Then you go back and you're greeted with the destruction of Thavnir, which then is when it starts to happen. It starts to happen like intense. Like it gets really dark, you know? You, at the same time, have character advancement. Endwalker is the very first expansion that I go to love Urianger. I go to enjoy Urianger. I no longer consider him a bitch. I actually consider him one of the best fucking scions, right? You get to see people that were on the background stand out a bit more. You go into Thavnir. You meet new characters. You see their different civilizations. You see the risks, you see the costs, you see people dying left and right. You're emotional. You're praying for the key to live. And then, where does Thavnir leads you? All the way back to the first. It is a good break because at the same time you can bond with your friends again. You talk with Lina, the bunny, you know, you talk with Rin. You talk with the little three kiddos that worshipped you pretty much, right? You talk with all these people. And you are reminded of a very beautiful time of an expansion ago. Just in case you were interested in something, the translation into Final Fantasy XIV mindset, yeah, I will definitely check out the story. Thank you, Billy. After that, what do? Orin tells you, you know what? I am sensing it. Now, how does she sense it? It makes sense. Sure, Minfilia died, but Orin now has control. Like she has a part of the Oracle of Light within her. And even though she doesn't know for a fact what's happening, she knows that something is amiss. She has seen the death, the darkness that's coming, and you tell her. And you're greeted with the reality that, you know what? All these people around you, they depend on you. Or they die. They just die. And she said that, you know what, we will fight it. You can't fight it. Because if the source dies, you die. Your world. It's as if you're like, how do I put this? It's as if you're a cell in a decaying body. When the body dies, you will die. You don't have control over your actions. When the source dies, it's over. So what happens is you go all the way back to the future with the sacrifice of Elidibus. You see Minfilia. Well, what did I say? You see Dogophilia. You see Venat. You see all these people. And you realize that you're surrounded by ghosts. Much like back in Amorot, you are surrounded by people that do not exist. But this time it's different and it's heavy. Why? Because they do exist. Am I contradicting myself? Yes and no. What? Did I contradict myself again? Yes and no. And that's the beauty of it. You know that you can save all of them, but you can't. You know that they are all alive, but dead. You know that they have a growing and lovely civilization, but it's destroyed. You go to Hermes, which you will know will become Falafel. A guy who is full of hope, but despair. You go to the Savior, yet the Executioner. And this contrast, this depth, is why time travel works for 14 and not for World of Warcraft. Because you go in Worlds of Draenor, you change a lot of things and you fuck that timeline, but nothing changes in your timeline. It does not affect you in the slightest. After we killed Gul'dan in Nighthold, it was over. This thing could just have never have happened. The Gul'dan could have been another fucking warlock. It's ignored. No stakes to be taken. But in Amorot, well, Halmorot, you know, back in Elpis, The stakes are very much there. And I find myself guilty. Have you thought of this? I wonder. Tell me in the chat or leave a comment down below. Have you felt of, you know what? I want liberty here. I would love Endwalker, because it's the end, right? To have two different endings. One in which you save the old ones, and you slowly fade away. And you tell them that you are awesome. And you tell them that I will fade away and I never have existed. Your sacrifice for the preservation. Big steaks and no T-bone, porterhouse, or filet mignon. Oh, come on, fuck you. Fuck you, Eagle Service. But this would be like one take. The benevolent being. But at the same time, morally grey. Like benevolently morally grey. Because your friends, well, they don't die because they never have existed. In order for someone to exist, a specific turn of events need to happen. I gave an example in my on my stream about a baby. You can kill a baby and you can be a piece of shit. Or you can go back in time and prevent the parents from fucking. It's not murder if the fucking never happened to begin with, because then the baby was never to be born. Tasmik, have no idea where this expansion is headed yet. I love this. I love this. I love that I don't know the 1H. I love that I am conflicted. Do you want a speculation? I'll give you a speculation at the end of this part of the video, of the stream, you know, or the video, of course. Guys, in the end, I go back, change the past, people die. I go back, I don't change the past, people die. For the first time in the fucking Final Fantasy XIV situation, I feel morally grey. There is no right or wrong. Billions will die over the eons if you decide to go with the apocalypse. Billions will die if you don't go with the apocalypse. Like, it's over. No matter what you do. As for my speculation about what I will see, what I expect in the future. Well, first of all, I believe that we will kill Hermes. Because, like, I told you, like, I only base this around the fact that we have killed every single Paragon. Or like, even if we haven't killed it, we have defeated them to the extent that they have killed themselves at the end. Like Elidibus, for example. Falafel killed himself. I believe that we will kill Hermes. Because, I don't know, like, I'm thinking that Hermes has to die. And the problem is, if you do change the things, then you potentially will be getting fudge information on how to stop the final days. True. Censors himself. Hear me out again. Hermes needs to die in order for Falafel, the soul, to enter Ammon. Because if you focus on Emet-Selch was Hades and is Hades. He preserved himself. Falafel didn't. Falafel entered Ammon. So I'm suspecting that, you know, Hermes has to die. At the same time, I don't know how we kill Venat. I don't know if we kill Venat. I believe we do kill Venat. Why? We kill the heart of Zodiark, so we will kill the heart of Hydaelyn. Why? Because we need, I believe, that's my speculation, that we have to kill Hydaelyn. You see, Hydaelyn is a primal. Want it or not, she eats ether. She does not have a counterpart. She's dangerous. Her duty was for the future to exist without the past. Sure, we can preserve the future, but you know what, my friends? You know what, Filimu? I think we need a world without gods. I think we need a world where Hydaelyn dies. I think we need a world where the etheric sea is free, unbound from all of us. And if we later find out that there is a fucking, like, I don't know, bro, like, hear me out, okay? I'll give you guys, like, every single time I play some music from Endwalker. You guys are like, oh, you're gonna spoil yourself. And like, the game is fucking called Endwalker, right? So I don't know, like, bro, I'm starting to fucking believe that there is literally that there is a fucking end boss called like End Music or something, and Dancer, and Singer or something, you know? Like, I literally speculate that we have situations like that, you know? But anyway, like, let's move this thing aside, you know? Because you always are like, oh, you're gonna music spoil yourself. So like, I literally started to think like, you know, like End Bard or something, End Dancer, I don't know, like something like that along those lines, right? But the important part for me is, we kill the guy, we have to kill the girl, and then we will probably have to deal with the void creatures. Kappa. Exactly, the redacted and redacted with the redacted on top of redacted. The pickled onion ice cream combo redacted in the forest of redacted. Yes. Yes. Easy way to not spoil yourself is finish the MSQ. True. True, but here's the thing, okay? I'll tell you something to 1H. You can only finish something once. I mean, the whole one brings shadow, one brings the light was a big one, right? Yes. Yes, and it also has a lot of meanings if you think about it. Do they mean Zodiac and Hydaelyn? Do they mean you and Albert? Do they mean you and the Ascians? Who the fuck do you mean? You know, I'm not gonna rush it. In Elden Ring, I had 6 endings. I've done 2 of them. World of Warcraft, who the fuck cares about the story ending of WoW, right? Okay? But even then, you have 1 ending. Star Wars, The Old Republic, you can enrich the ending. You can do different path styles, right? But in FF14, you have 1 path. 1 destination. I know that the moment I finish Endwalker, I will never be able to re-experience it. I'm not stalling. I just want to absorb it. I am not a type, like, my personality is not that of a person that absorbs things instantly. At first, I can be like, ah, fuck this bitch ass motherfucker. What the fucking dog shit ass garbage writer, man, or character. And then time goes on, and I'm like, wow. Well, fuck me. You know? That's what happened with me and Tsukuyomi. It didn't happen with me with Calls of Bahamut, because with Calls I was sad from the beginning. As cool as the animation was when watching the end of the 10.0's raids cutscene, I couldn't help but think, remember us, it's a world of difference. You can't experience it for the first time again, but you can join us emotional vampires. No. Listen, I'm not going to run out of content. I will go back and do Game Plus on Heavensward and remember it. I will go back and do New Game Plus in ARR. We're gonna do New Game Plus in ARR, you're gonna do New Game Plus in Stormblood. I want to start speculating. We're gonna go deep into the lore. I don't know if Final Fantasy XIV has heavy lore content creators or anything, but I want to nerd the fuck out of this game. Why? Because it deserves it. Why? Because it is a standalone universe with rich history, with rich knowledge, with rich lore. Replaying around and Heavensward myself, they much better the second time around. Yes! You start seeing this more spherically. To start a character in AU data center just to photobomb some of my favorite EU streamers. You should do that, in my opinion, bro. You should do what Bodrick did. Now, out of lore guys on YouTube that would kill to have your opinion or work with you on Elpis, then bring them over. I don't know which guys. I would love to, bro, listen to me, okay? I would love to collaborate with FF creators. Why? Well, the FF community has embraced me. Why would I not embrace them? The FF creators, even Despair is fucking responding. I mean, like, look, the time zones, like, he's super busy in situations like that, you know? But I got a response from the guy. I was not ignored, and I even did a random shout out in one of the fucking videos, right? Why would I not embrace them? Jesse Cox might be interesting in hearing your Greek take on Elpis, perhaps. Scribe Synodic, okay. Second time, you realize how everything is relevant and not just some throwaway detail. Yep. Specifically because you have the whole view and you know what all these quests aren't just throwaway little tidbits. Yeah. Like, you can understand. Guys, listen. on my stream that I last uploaded about Elpis, right? I say that sophist podya means skirt. It's more than a skirt. It's like, skirt is fusta in Greek. Podya is the school uniform that women would wear to school in the previous century. Like, we used to have school uniforms, we no longer have that. Podya was the uniform. So, like, in a sense, when you wear your podya, you are dressing your female character for school. And what are you there? If not practically a student, you're being taught things, you know? I became an Omni role, an Omni job in Shadowbringers just to get all these extra offlines. Yeah, and we will be doing all of the role quests as well, by the way. But these are things that I want to do in the future. Like, this is content that I want to do in the future, right? The important part for me is when I got to post Thavnir, post the first, the game suddenly started to just get me. Even though I found the first half of Endwalker boring, it was a necessary evil for what happened at the level 86, 87, 88, because it couldn't, like, you can't ramp something up without ramp something up. If I take you, like, how do I put this? If I give you a choice, you know, person A dies or person B dies, and you don't know either of these guys, you don't care who dies. You need to get to extensively know both of them, learn about their perspectives, their opinions, learn about their civilizations, learn about who they are. But it is a necessary evil. Now, it is boring. It is boring for me. But it's necessary. Bad, yet mandatory. And why is it bad? It's not that it's bad by itself. It's bad compared to what you come from Shadowbringers. Like, Shadowbringers just fucking ramp Sun to 11 all the time, and then you have, like, Endwalker going slow. In a sense, you can connect the Endwalker pacing to Stormblood, but you know, even though Stormblood is my favorite expansion, Endwalker is better. It is better. Like, you can't, like, if you think about Stormblood ramped up in 4.2, 4.3, you know, that's where you got the spiky moment, because sure, like 4.1 you get the fucking Lolorito and the fucking lady, you know, the parrot, the Sultana, the fucking, Jesus fucking Christ. See, names are not my forte when I'm trying to think all the time, you know? But yeah, you get the Sultana, improvement, you know, character development, and then you have, like, Tsukuyomi, Yutsuyu, yeah, Nana, Mao, okay, lovely. And all these things, you know? You get that. You get, but before that, bleh. Like, literally, bleh. And there are no... Bro, even the fucking tempered kid, the guy that had to kill his family, even though he promised his sister that he would save her, back in Garlemald, I don't remember his name. The guy that he was fucking loyal to the Emperor, the guy that, you know, like, the good boy. We had the good boy, okay? The good boy from the fucking Garlemald, okay? That guy was a very emotionally intense character as well. I wanna say that... You know what? No, not Maxima, not Maxima. The boy. Maxima is from the fucking Stormblood. No, not Maxima. Young boy with the fucking blue hair. He comes back to your camp. He's hesitant to engage. The Alamigan offers him a soup. Yeah, Julius Silius Sodus. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, this guy. Yeah, I love this guy. And then he gets, like, fucking tempered. I still don't know what happened to this guy. I don't know if he made it or if he's still among the tempered. I don't know what happened to him. I hope he's okay. I hope he's a good boy. It's about the small things in life. Yeah. And you know why this was an intense moment for me? Because you see the Imperial, a diehard Imperial, by the way, which later was practically, you know, on the Suicide Squad, right? What does he do? He's offered a meal. By whom? By an Alamigan. The people that had been practically decimated by the Empire. The people that have more reasons to hate the Imperials than anyone else. It's moments like this. And on the one hand, I am so an ex-conscripted Alamiga. Yep, exactly. I'm so hyped. There's a little bit more to it. There is, sure. I'm so hyped about seeing how the story ends, but at the same time, I dread it. I don't want to. Have you ever, like, I'm holding a gun and I have to point it into a head and somebody has to die. I know that when I take the final decision, somebody will die. I don't know who, but somebody will. At least that's my speculation, right? I don't want to have to make this choice. I can respect that, but to Eagle's point, I haven't escaped it either. I've been rewatching it on and off for a year now. Which one? What happened? What are you guys talking about? Logging to Endwalker, expanding it, and leak lore fluids, and raw sexy action from the start to finish. Yeah, and it can't happen. In a sense, Final Fantasy gave us too much content. Can you imagine complaining for too much content? Is this where we are in the year 2022 from a game released by Square Enix? Is this where we are? Isn't this a delightful surprise? I don't know. I still think we could have pruned some of it. Okay, like some things didn't. But then again, you need those because why wouldn't you? Like, think about when you do your Endwalker Game Plus. And you do all this, you get all this extra information by the extra dialogues, by all the books in Charlean that you can, like, you know which ones you have to get, but you can actually do all of them and get more lore. Then you go to Labyrinthos, and then you can do, like, the fucking extra quest to learn about the zone. Then you can go into the moon, and you can find out why the fucking keepers are attacking you by doing the quests. And you can do all the Blue Cross quest lines. You have so much content. I think that Endwalker is unironically the best game I've played in my life, that and Elden Ring. When it comes to money per hour spent, money per hour, you know, like you spend, how do I put this? Like, you know, you spend your dollars or euros or whatever the fuck you spend. How much content do you get for that? It has preposterous amounts of content, and in 1 month you can literally play the entire month and you still have content to do. He linked me to the orchestrated soundtrack that came out last week, and it hit like a ton of bricks. All the expansions have peaks and valleys. It's in writing. It can't be 24/7 hype. Oh yeah, of course, or it gets boring, right? You need downtime. Yep. Once you're done with main MSQ, I can point out the parts they delayed the expansion for because they wanted to polish stuff. Absolutely. Sure, absolutely. You can do that. But yeah, for me, guys, this is where Final Fantasy XIV stands out. We already fall back to it. The love of the developers for the game, the love of the gamers for the game, and the love of the game for the player. I love it. I just fucking love it. And for me, Yamena, the game has succeeded where every other MMO has failed. I have yet to find a proper linear RPG writing that is actually good. And let me give you guys the tiny cherry on top of the cherry on top. Like I have a cherry on top, but I have the cherry on top of the cherry on top, right? And that is you guys. My viewers, my community, my supporters. Be it the followers who support me with being here, and you guys, you know, like you power through the ads. I minimize them, but you have to power through the ads because, like, I can't control all the ads, right? And you have to watch 30 seconds of ads for every single hour that I stream. That's what Twitch says. The minimum is that. And other than that, I want to thank my subscribers. I want to thank people that have donated into the channel. Why? This is self-sufficient. Because of you, I was able to afford my Final Fantasy XIV subscription. You are literally having me play this game for free? You brought me here. You maintain me here. Because of your donations, because of your subscriptions, I will be able to buy a fucking chair that will not destroy my back. This is like shit. This is literally a fucking wood chair. You know, like this thing. This is bad. Like my back hurts many times during streams. Okay, I will buy an office chair because of you. You are making the game better for me. You. And I don't think that many people address that, but it needs to be addressed. The FF14 player base, the FF14 community, is a diehard community, not because you guys are a fucking cult or something, but because you actually support the streamer. It's fucking unbelievable. It's fucking unbelievable, dude. It's not just the active chat, it's not just, you know, like people loving to be here. It's not just the fucking lore talks, it's not just the fucking video feedback. It's all of these things that in the end make Final Fantasy XIV a delightful fucking experience. Like, you want to create for this game. From my perspective, from my point of view, I want to create for this game. Like, call me however you'll call me, but a game needs to inspire you to create, right? And how is it that every single time I am inspired about World of Warcraft to create, I will have to do a guide or an opinion about something easy because Blizzard fucked something up? But when it comes to 14, I create stuff that I just feel good about. Every time I get up wind up Sadu from my material container, I wish there was worldwide data travel to mail you them. No, wait, what? I want a wind up Sadu. Probably been sent before by somebody else, but I'm happy to be able to take part of your journey. And I'm happy to have you here. I'm truly delighted for all of you. You know, people that support me on Twitch, people that support me on YouTube that then come to watch me on Twitch. You guys make it really fun. And the fact that we have, like, you know, subscriptions, donations, all those things, maybe in the future I will be able to sustain myself through that, you know, and live through that. And can you imagine that? Because I could see me do this full time. Not just content creation, I love content creation, right? But I could see me creating for FF full time. Why? Because there's always that extra. There is always that depth. There is always that story. False balls. There is always that information. Lob your balls onto Loporis' heads. There are always moments to fucking get you. And yeah, that's it. That's it. Like, this is my take on FF versus WoW, okay?